Greetings, denizens of the tri-state area. Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Dragon, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to activate the Recap-inator and discuss my favorite cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. That's right, in honor of the 15th anniversary and in preparation for the upcoming revival, I'm guiding Blue Dragon 5 here through the series, experiencing his reactions, watching it for the first time, and reliving my summer memories through the years. Today's episode is a big one. Summer belongs to you. Before we move in, hey Kogias, I hope you're doing well as well. So, Dragon, this is a pretty big episode. It's the series' first hour-long special. Technically, the Christmas episode is more closer to 30 minutes. This is more considered among their hour-long specials. So, how are you coming down on this one?
This feels like a proper event to end the season on. We have I'm getting the sense we have an epilogue after this. I don't know how finale-ish it feels.
I think it was how it worked. Like they had an extra episode and they had another one after it.
Yeah, doesn't it feel? It's kind of weird. I'm getting the sense they did not have autonomy over specifically the finales for the seasons, right?
Not really.
Yeah, what you guys said, it's a typical practice in animation, given the whole syndication thing you have often, or it's the fact that one episode you can play out of order, people can kind of jump into without having to worry too much about continuity or anything.
The only really exception to that is the end of the fourth season, because they obviously thought that was going to be the last season.
Well, yeah, again, it's like an ending to the series in total, which sometimes is an exception.
And obviously, as we well know now, that finality didn't stick.
Well, no, Jacob, Aquatad has a question.
I know. First off, he says, this episode really hits me since it came on the last day of summer vacation one year. Yeah, it is kind of interesting how that works. And what was the season 1 finale? Well, technically, the final episode of that season was Out of Tune and Hail Dufania. Those are technically the final episodes of season 1. Technically, not really finale material, but if this actually, and funny thing is, this technically did not air in the middle of at the end of the second season. It aired somewhere near the end of it in broadcast order. There were actually episodes that aired after it within the second season. Because, Disney likes to air things out of order.
Yep.
So, speaking of which, I actually do have a little bit of background for this one.
Hit me with it.
Actually, another cookie is bicycles can't fly in real life, an unrealistic episode, giving it 0 stars, JK. All right, this is actually the second longest episode of the series, not counting the movies. And only one episode is longer, and that's the Star Wars episode.
Ah. That barely counts, though. It's like a huge event.
Yeah, it is. But technically, this is the second longest one.
Okay.
So, according to the composer Danny Jacob, the original title of the episode was just The Longest Day of Summer, which is probably just more likely a working title before they went with the official one. Another fun fact, this episode on iTunes 2010 Rewinded won Best Kids Episode of the Year. And one crux to the thing, as you noticed, as you guys know, we are following this series through Disney Plus, and this episode was split in two. Because it reuses the international airings of the episode. So, unfortunately, because it did air as an hour. It is meant to be a one uncut hour-long episode, but Disney Plus splits it into two, which is kind of unfortunate. And due to this, there are actually some bits that were cut or altered. Again, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, but you remember when the water balloon lands in the ocean, lands in Paris?
Yes.
All right. Well, actually, after that point, they're Actually, there's actually on the boat a couple of sailors, and like one says, "I hate being a sailor," because they were on the boat that got jostled by the wave. And another one regarding the return flight home and the paper airplane. Apparently, the paper airplane flies over the substitute teacher convention, and the speaker's like, "Okay, who's the wise guy?" Unfortunately, those were not in the episode.
Mm.
Another cut bit was a song by Buford titled "You're Wrong," which, as you can imagine, was about him like saying why their plan wouldn't work. It was cut for time. It was cut for time and never used. And also, and we'll get into this one later, The Ballad of Klimpaloon by Love Handle. It was appeared in the album of this episode because this episode actually did have an album for its songs, but the song itself was not heard in the actual series proper until season 4. All right. Another thing, production-wise, Holly, one of the Fireside Girls, is now voiced by Diamond White instead of Symphonique Miller. Diamond White is now known for the voice of the title character in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Dragon, have you seen that show?
I'm aware of it. I've not seen it, no.
All right.
Nothing personal. I just, I don't know. A lot of the. Sometimes you gotta be selective with Marvel animation, and it seems like a good show, but also it just seems maybe it's a lot of my demographic. I don't know. Nothing against it. I hadn't really felt like compelled to. Man, I really gotta watch that show.
Yep. I've heard
I'll tell you what I am watching right now.
Yeah.
X-Men 97.
Yep, and how's that so far?
Oh, Jacob, ever since episode 2 onward, man, mind you, it's only 3 episodes so far, but it's been really good.
From what I understand, 3 is like some kind of haunted house episode.
Kind of. It's just the fact that we're really going for it, man. We're doing big X-Men stuff with 97. That's what I'm saying. They're doing the stuff that you kind of wish they did in the 90s show. They were kind of skirting around. They did at least, they did it, but they're not being censored as much, and I love it.
Which is nice.
Yeah. Yep. I'm censored, just, I don't know, like they always, you look at the 90s X-Men always had like that G.I. Joe look to it, which felt a little like, it's a little like almost kind of a nerfed X-Men sort of thing. The themes were there, but it was just like, it's just not really a pop to the animation or what we're doing with it. Where this season, oh God, 97, where we changed that paradigm, my God.
All right. Well, folks, keep a lookout for that because we'll be doing a coverage of that when the season's over.
Yep. Anyway.
Yep.
Do we have any pertinent facts?
Like regarding?
I don't know. Like anything, it's not just like listening thing. Anything really good or anything that really coats the whole episode, Jacob. Anything thematic, background-wise.
Well, I'll actually touch those when we actually get to the scenes in question.
Okay, let's dive into it then.
All right, Dragon. That's just the way I like to do things. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the episode begins with Candace calling Jeremy in Paris.
the middle of the wee hours of the morning.
Exactly. He's tired, but he's tired, obviously, because he just got woken. And it almost ends up being pretty much pointless because immediately after he's like, "Where my dream just now?" And as he's trying to explain this dream, Candace hears this loud rumbling outside.
So Phineas and Ferb have apparently built a self-aware giant robot who, out of preference, decides I'm gonna jump rope. You make a giant jump rope and jump that rope, and it's just making all these thuds and everything. So, it's going to self-aware. So Phineas and Ferb just kind of shrug their shoulders. Well, we can't stop them.
It's like, well, from what I could tell by the dialogue, it's like they didn't intend for the robot to become self-aware. It just happened.
Yeah.
And then it just decided to jump rope.
And they're lucky it didn't want to kill a small child.
Yep. I jump, therefore I am.
Yep.
Yeah, no. It's like it's always nice when robots discover Descartes. You know what I mean?
True.
And then, of course, it disappears. But we'll figure out why and how later on.
I love that Candace is giving Linda some attitude here, and Linda's not having it. The whole like, get to the backyard now. It's like, what now, please?
It's kind of funny how like the usual 11-minute plot episode actually kind of is front loaded to like the first minute of the episode.
Well, it's the longest episode. Well, let's be fair, okay? Not the Star Wars episode doesn't count, okay? This is the longest episode of Phineas and Ferb.
Because it's of the actual characters and not the Star Wars crossover.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a big crossover event. It's not and that's essentially something they can market into a movie if they really wanted to. Okay, this is not that. This is an episode of the show. It's an event, but not that kind of event.
Yep, I see what you mean.
Anyway, the point being, long episode. Again, the point of this episode being we're going to jam as much summer as we can in this. We don't have time for the usual Linda stuff.
Yep. So basically, Linda gives them the idea. Says, if only the days were a bit longer when I talked to you about that, and then they have this visual gag where they're preempted by this ad that says you're watching television. It's like, do you mind? We're doing a visual gag here.
Okay, now this is really funny and really meta, and I've seen this gag made a couple times, and I love it when it does happen. So this is kind of a fourth wall gag about the whole Disney Channel. In general, the Disney Channel had this, but as well, just like there's always that TV banner thing, especially on Fox. They used to have this thing where you have like the little advertising pop up at the bottom of your screen, which I mean, I guess it still happens, just probably not as like frequently as it used to with the advent of streaming and everything. But little TV banners will pop up, blocking important things in the show. Like, Jay, give an example of what a banner would look like. For our purposes here.
Okay.
Like a big one.
Like this one, or like something like a comment.
Yes, like a comment, Jacob. Yes.
Okay, like this.
There you go. Something like that. Like that's just like you're watching television.
Yep, and it's blocking our title too.
Exactly. So that's exactly what what this is about, and this happens all the time. Or like like on Family Guy, they had this sort of thing of like they had these fake like Fox promo or like like these failed Fox pilots sort of things. Like, hey, watch Shoulder Guys or Shoving Buddies. Stuff like that, where it's like this, it's incredibly, like fake sort of like, hey, and they're just, they're shoving around, and but again, it's like something it's very distracting from the show, and it's just based on all these promos and like, hey, everybody, these check out the Nick at Night lineup next, coming up, the Cosby Show or what have you,
And of course, an infamous one, from what I understand, within the Legend of Korra, where like there was a pivotal moment, like Korra was like getting battered, and then up comes SpongeBob laughing at it.
Yep.
Yeah, good timing there, Nickelodeon.
Fun fact: when Jimmy Neutron was coming out, they leaned into. I don't know if you ever saw this. I don't know if you can probably find them online somewhere on YouTube somewhere. But back when they were advertising Jimmy Neutron, I think it was for the movie and not the show yet, but it could have been for the show as well. I think it was for the movie. You had this little bumper word, basically, but they leaned into it very intentionally. So during a few select Nicktoons, I think one episode was Hey Arnold. There was an episode of SpongeBob, and there was a third thing. Anyway, Jimmy Neutron would walk out in kind of like a little foreground banner space. It's little Jimmy and Goddard would walk out, and he basically fires like a device and then messes with the cartoon for like a scene. And for SpongeBob, it was priceless. It was the Hooky episode. So you had Mr. Krabs demonstrating the hook. So when he hooks himself, they all turn into puppets. It's like Mr. Krabs was like a puppet. It was awesome. And then like Hey Arnold, like everything got turned to like stripy black and white kind of a thing. It was like a whole
That's kind of interesting.
Very Andy Kaufman-esque in the Hey Arnold example, but you get the idea. It was very much kind of like, hey, let's advertise Jimmy Neutron, who kind of like Stitch from the Lilo and Stitch marketing campaign, kind of messing with the Nicktoons.
I love those interstitials.
That's essentially that's what the logic was.
It's like I kind of miss when ads did that.
Yeah. Anyway, so again, this is kind of like a meta call out for just like the TV advertising. Is from hey, you're blocking our visual gag with the little with the little triangle ding.
Yep. It's like kind of like preempted by ads kind of thing.
Exactly.
Well, and now streaming services actually have ads in them now.
Yeah. Invincible will never be the same.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, like Phineas, like and immediately afterwards, Phineas talks about it, like summer being halfway over, and they haven't built a roller coaster, traveled the time twice, which technically that's a kind of a continuity error since they kind of undid that in that actual episode.
Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so how forward thinking were Dan and Swampy at this juncture of the show? Because ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it is ironic that at least not like the revival notwithstanding, Phineas and Ferb 4 seasons. We're halfway there. The summer's halfway over. So that does beg the question: is this just like a happy accident retroactively, or did they kind of figure they were going 4 seasons?
I mean, honestly, I think it is a happy accident because I think they were at least at that point confirmed for a third season. I don't think they knew about a fourth one at that point.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, it does say it's like summer's halfway over, but it explicitly mentions the summer solstice, which is technically the beginning of summer.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, but I mean, what do it's the Pixar method. We don't care.
Well, yes, but I mean, if the summer solstice is like the beginning of summer, though, I mean, that's kind of. I don't know if that's a we don't care, Jake. I mean, that one's kind of like if that's what the summer solstice is, that's that's kind of an important plot detail that flies in the face of what they just said.
I know.
I think Swampy screwed that one up in the room.
All right.
I think Swampy brought in the donuts and got everyone distracted that day.
Yeah, it's not something. It doesn't really take away from the rest of the episode.
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying, like now you bring it up, it's like, oh well, that is kind of glaring.
Or you could say, "Code, yes, summer is very long in this show's universe."
That's true.
I mean, after all, there's 104 days of summer vacation.
Yeah.
Even then that gets called into question later episodes. It's like, Ferb, you're right. It does feel like more than 104 days.
Yep. Okay. So
the boys at that point venture to create the biggest, longest, funnest summer day of all time.
Yep, they need a challenge.
Yep.
Hence the two-parter. It's going to be the longest summer ever. Two-parter, I guess, hour-long episode, if you will.
Yep. So, but meanwhile,
the girl one, Jacob, Candace, she's in charge.
Yep. They leave the Candace in charge of the boys while they're gone for 2 days.
Now, this is great. So Candace being confronted with the robot the AI breaking logic of if the boys are in need of busting, Candace, you're on the hook for it.
By busting the boys, I bust myself.
Exactly. Your brain hurts on that one.
And then of course Lawrence brings it home with like, there's the rub, right next to this pair of ducks. I'm also packing this book of puns.
I really like that. I'm sure no one else laughed at that joke. I really like that joke.
Dragon, I laugh hard every time I hear that joke.
I just love that whole there's the rub. Then we literalize it. It's great.
And right next to the pair of ducks.
Yep.
Like I said, Lawrence continues to be delightful.
That he does. He's barely in this episode.
I mean, Linda is barely in this episode either. But
oh yeah, she's had her time though.
Yeah, it is kind of nice when an episode focuses on Lawrence. We don't get a lot of those.
Yeah, I mean, last episode we gave Lawrence a funny hat.
Funny hat?
But yeah, the shower hat.
Oh yeah, he wasn't really in that much of that episode either.
Well, we gave him a hat.
Yep. Hey, the last episode did explicitly focus on him as a character, primarily be centered around him was, ladies and gentlemen, meet Max Modem.
Yeah, had a wig in that one.
Yep. I feel strangely comfortable in this.
That's the key. If we give Lawrence headwear, he kind of becomes even better.
Even though he did get he also did get Candace in trouble in that episode too. In addition to Lynn.
Yeah.
So the showerhead didn't really save it that much.
No. So.
But speaking of dads.
Yeah.
There's another one. There's another dad that's going on a vacation.
Let's talk about the plotline we really care about in all this. So, forget the cone shaped the cone and building shaped boys. Okay, let's move them to the side here.
It's like Doofenshmirtz in a jet airplane.
So Doofenshmirtz is on, in quotes, vacation with his daughter Vanessa,
and they're going to Japan.
Going to Tokyo.
It's like Vanessa wanted to go to France because she dropped all that hints, all the hints apparently.
Yep. Apparently Paris is big in Danville. Apparently everyone wants to go to Paris.
Well, I mean, Paris is just a popular city in general, Dragon.
I mean, how many people really want to go to Paris versus just the cliche of like, oh, Paris?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there are quite a few people that do.
Really? Do you think so?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to go to Paris.
Oh, good. You're just jumping on the bandwagon. You don't really want to go to Paris. You're just saying you want to go to Paris because everyone else is going to Paris.
Dragon, I've wanted to go to Paris for like 10 years.
Why? Why do you want to go to Paris since 10 years? Why? What's Paris have that Ohio doesn't have? Tell me that.
Well, let's see. There's a history. There's Euro Disney. There's Disneyland Paris. There's all the museums, all the food.
Really? Is Euro Disney that big a sell for you?
I mean, it wouldn't be the only thing I would go to see, but I would at least spend a day there.
All right. But anyway.
So yeah, I have reasons to want to go there. I mean, it probably wouldn't be the first place in Europe I'd go to. I mean, that'd probably be
Did
England.
you learn French?
Actually, yes, I took French in high school.
Oh, right. Yes, you did. How is it locked in there?
I still know a few phrases and things like that, but it's not exactly.
Well, you know what the most important phrase is.
What is it?
One will get you out of Dodge no matter what happens.
Voulez-vous coucher?
No, not that. No, that's gonna get you in trouble. No,
I know.
You sicko. No, omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage. Like that'll mend nations, my friend. That's the phrase you need to know.
World peace.
Yep. World peace and dairy all in one.
Yep. Wait. And eggs.
Yep. I can't believe you sick puppy. I apologize for him, folks. He doesn't know what he's saying.
I know exactly what I'm saying. I know exactly what that phrase means.
Hey, I'm doing damage control here. Step aside. All right.
It's like, what, Dragon? You don't like Lady Marmalade?
No, we all love Lady Marmalade, but you know what that means.
Yes, I know exactly what it means.
I'm saying if you say that in France, there'll be an angry mob going after you. They're going to chase you down to the catacombs.
I know. I was just kidding anyway.
All right, okay.
Like, the funny thing is, I actually have some notes on the French in this episode later.
Oh, good.
I mean, it's not much, but it is a couple things.
Anyway, so
it's like Doofenshmirtz is like, oh yes, I'm totally just going there for vacation. No ulterior motives whatsoever.
Oh boy, he's got ulterior motives, that Doofenshmirtz.
Of course he does. But it's like, and of course they experience some minor turbulence.
Thanks to the robot.
It's like, oh, it's always something. Turbulence, headwinds, giant jump roping robots.
Yep.
You gotta admit though, the plane's handling it quite well.
So we learn that Doofenshmirtz is a workaholic.
Yep.
Not only did he do something for work, he brought work with him. He kidnapped Major Monogram.
Had him tied to a luggage cart.
And duct taped, which I think is even funnier.
Yeah, and He even went through the baggage claim.
So it's just one. It's just great that we get to have the meta thing of the Dan and Swampy just kind of like riffing with each other here. Because so rarely do we pair together Major Monogram and Doofenshmirtz, and when we do, it's priceless.
Yep. One of the only other times we actually get it. Well, we actually just got one, and Candace gets busted.
Yeah, so we had that, and then beyond that, you had like the stupid clip show.
Oh, it wasn't a clip show, Dragon. It was a musical countdown.
Yep, sorry. No, you're well. I mean, they had clips of all the musical numbers, so it's
It was more of like it was musical countdown.
Yeah, but still, like again, there's no countdown if they don't use the clips of the music, Jacob.
They're not. It's not really a clip. But
Are they playing the songs? Do we see?
Clips are just in little segments. They play the whole songs.
I'm sorry, were there not like 10 segments?
Yes, but they were the whole songs, not little snippets from the songs.
All right, anyway.
I'm just being semantic at this point.
Okay.
But it is always interesting, always kind of fun to have Dan and have a Doof and Monogram interact with each other.
Yeah.
It's like it's good, and it's kind of just funny that nobody at the TSA or whatever even noticed that. Hey, you have a guy taped to that luggage. Oh, don't worry, he's with me.
And I says, "Oh no, it's Sam Elliott. Oh yeah, he's cool. He's fine." Like,
Yep.
Yes, Mr. Elliott, your mustache looks very good. Let's get you moving. Come on, this way.
And the thing is, Carl gives Perry his mission earlier.
Dang it, Carl. Carl's so freaking dim here. Carl is so fired, it ain't even funny.
It's like dear Carl, I'm on a vacation, so don't go looking for him. I mean me.
I'm not kidnapped. I've not been kidnapped.
Yes, because that's not suspicious at all, is it?
And of course, the fact that it's written in hostage letters.
Yep.
Ransom. It's written in ransom letters.
It is kind of weird they took the time to cut out and paste it.
So you have the day off. It's just like, oh, okay, just again, dang it, Carl. Let's see who would. Let's go to the chart, Jacob.
Okay. One thing's first. Dang it, Carl. And here you go.
All right, so which Carl would make this egregious mistake and which Carl definitely would not?
I don't think Beaumont would do this. I think he would immediately understand what's going on.
I think so as well.
And obviously the robot as well. He would immediately catch on to that.
I don't know. Carl the robot's a little naive.
I know, but I still think I don't think he's that bad.
That's true. Now, who's a Carl that would absolutely fall for this? I know who my pick is.
Well, Carl Weezer, for one.
Yes, Carl Weezer.
It's like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this, Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy, yeah, he's on vacation. He's not being kidnapped. Look at what it says here. Not kidnapped.
And would a note like this lie?
Well, Jimmy took the time to cut out all the letters. I think he meant it.
Yep. So Carl Weezer, he would definitely do that.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So obviously Vanessa's not too happy about this situation.
Nope. No, she isn't. She's accusing him of taking work on vacation, and ultimately we reveal going to the Tokyo Tower. Which, by the way, it's nice that we're not just doing the Eiffel Tower. We go to the Tokyo Tower.
Yep. Again, which is an actual real location.
Mm-hmm.
And this entire episode kind of does also doubles as like a celebration of world culture in a way.
Well, yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Brought to you by the studio that gave us It's Small World.
Yeah.
So basically, there's there's a convention going on.
Yep.
No, not GalaxyCon, different convention.
The good guys convention.
Which, I mean, to be fair, GalaxyCon has a bunch of good guys there.
And also a lot of bad guys.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll say you're right. Sorry, I thought you meant like actual bad human beings. Like, really, you've had run-ins.
No, I meant like there's like
No, I get you now. You've had like actors who have played villains there. Yes, now, yeah.
Yep. Heroes, villains, anti-heroes, anti-villains, you name it.
Small animals.
Not to mention the cosplayers.
Well, yeah.
Heroes, villains everywhere.
Sandwiches.
Expensive sandwiches.
Well, yeah, but probably hero sandwiches.
That too.
Yeah. Okay.
You always hear of hero sandwiches. There's such thing as a villain sandwich.
Not yet. Actually, wait a minute. That brings up a good point.
Yeah.
Phineas and Ferb, do we ever address the villain sandwich?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
There's no villain sandwich.
That's a missed opportunity right there.
Anyway.
One of these days we gotta write that. Oh, okay, Jacob. Okay. Yeah. We gotta pitch Iger on this one, okay? He's not going to be there for. We got to pitch Iger before he appoints somebody new. But we just got to. Okay, listen, Bob. Hi. Bob, think about this. Go to the Disney parks. You get a sandwich. We have both the hero sandwiches, but more importantly and more impressively, ingrained in the Disney culture, whole grained in this case. Villains. Disney built on an empire of iconic villainy. How do we best represent this? In a tasty, tantalizing way? Sandwiches. Not the hero sandwich, because that's been done. We can still have it on the side if you want to balance the scales of sandwichy justice. But villains. Villain sandwiches. The villain sandwich. Cover all the stuff that's mouth-wateringly evil. The taste of evil. I mean, again, it make you feel good at overcharging people for food because it's a sandwich of evil and villainy that people can't resist. You label the unattainable. You label like this sandwich is wrong. People will want it because they want what's not good for them.
like I'm saying now, like Ursula's seaweed sandwich.
There you go, or Octa, if you want to get all fancy with it, especially if you're going to, I don't know, maybe one of the, I guess Hong Kong Disney? Do we still have Hong Kong Disney?
Yes, there's Hong Kong and Shanghai.
I didn't say so. Hong Kong Disney, I mean, I think I saw once, there was there's an octopus thing in Hong Kong, so I was you get an octopus sandwich.
I mean, octopus is popular over there as a dish.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, who knows? Maybe one of these places has something like that.
Yep.
I think that's called a whole wheat on rice sandwich.
There you go.
It's so yeah.
Anyway, you get the idea. Okay, thanks for your time, Bob. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah.
We'll do lunch. Haha. Okay. We'll do evil lunch.
Just don't model any after Cruella DeVille.
Yeah, no, we can't do that.
Yeah, that would be a bit much.
Yeah.
So where were we?
Well, let's see. Okay, so Doofenshmirtz's plan involves a giant water balloon on the Tokyo Tower, which is intended to basically catapult itself onto the World Good Guy Con, and basically he would frame Major Monogram for doing so.
And he plans on doing that by you flapping his gums.
literally, just using his finger to sloppily puppeteer Major Monogram's mouth.
Yep, and it's like, you can't make me talk. I have nerves of steel and an iron will and gold teeth and a copper.
I'm 35% metal.
Oh man, it must be hard getting to the airport.
Yes, it is.
It's like, don't get me started. Which raises a whole lot of questions how we got him through the airport in the first place.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe that's why he just sent him through baggage claim instead.
Yeah.
Well, Code Geass likes it when Monogram gets involved with the plot.
We all do.
Yep. It is always nice to have that happen.
All right, let's see. So I guess before we check back in with the Doofenshmirtz family.
Yep. Let's check in. Like, first, Candace is getting worried and anxious about Jeremy being in France.
She's worried that he's going to be tempted by French girls.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh yeah.
Or put in a way Jacob would appreciate. She's afraid that Jeremy's going to voulez-vous coucher anyway.
Pretty much.
She's afraid that Candace watching Titanic, and she's very fearful of his DiCaprio boyish charm.
So yep, and so she calls Stacy over at like 5 a.m,
Mm-hmm.
and Stacy's not really too thrilled about it.
Poor Stacy.
Oh yeah. Like, but she helps him. She helps Candace and ease through it.
Yep.
And it's like talking about like, if you want him to call you his girlfriend, maybe you should call him your boyfriend.
Yeah, this is a big episode where we finally address labels.
It's like it's official, Dragon.
Well, now it is, yeah, I guess. But I mean, let's be honest. We even learned in this episode he had already considered her this before. He just didn't say it to her face.
But then that's not making it official until now.
I mean, no, it is official, but look, it was official, but the Candace didn't know it was official, so it's been official for a while.
But now do you see where I was talking about?
I now see where you were getting at, but still, it's the fact that even by his own admission, it was official. They just never said out loud, apparently.
I'm vindicated, is all I'm saying.
Okay, you're 75% vindicated.
Okay, I'll take what I can get.
There you go. 75. Take the 75.
It's a passing grade. I'll take it.
Okay, see, everyone's happy.
Exactly. It's like you know what's in France, Stacy? The pyramids. She's like, the pyramids.
I love at the end of this when Candace Lee says, "Stacy, really?
Like,
the pyramids?
Right. Oh, right. That's Belgium, isn't it?"
God bless Stacy, but more so, just let's just take a moment to appreciate Kelly.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
The time in the episode where we just have to kind of stop things, take a moment, and just kind of like pledge allegiance to the Who. No, not the band, the Kelly.
All right, Dragon, I have a specific. How do you like this?
There you go.
Kelly Who appreciation moment.
Just to salute the Who. Who? Kelly.
Exactly. There's our new banner, folks.
Look at it. Look at her.
Kelly Who appreciation moment.
Look at Kelly in her prime. Anyway, okay, we love Kelly Who.
Yes.
All right.
It's the debut of a brand new banner.
Yes, how appropriate.
And Code Geass like, Kelly Who is great.
Plus, we're overwhelmed by Kelly Who in this episode. We have all of Stacy's cousins.
And I think we can both attest to Code Geass here. Kelly Who is great. And Aquatat says, we love Kelly Who.
We love Kelly Who.
We all do.
We would build a monument to Kelly Who if any of us were skilled craftsmen.
Yes.
But we're not. So,
and technically there is a pyramid in Paris if you count the Louvre.
No one counts the Louvre. Come on.
I know, but I'm just saying technically it is shaped like a pyramid.
Maybe, I guess. All right.
I know, but I said I don't really count it either.
Okay, the point being, the boys, with the summer solstice coming up, they want to have the longest day of summer ever via the Sunbeater 3000.
Yep. It's like even the rest of Phineas's friends are like, "What are you doing up so early?" It's like have the longest day ever. It's like, so you built the Statue of Liberty? No.
Yeah, this is a really funny gag. The idea that there's like this misleading kind of like the misleading shapes of under these tarps. So we have like Statue of Liberty, and we have like the Thinker, Rodin. Oh, wait, was it the was it the Thinker, or was it someone else?
It was the discus throw.
Right, the discus throw.
Yeah, the famous discus throwing statue.
Yeah.
It's like, for some reason the Sun Chasers, the tarp, is shaped like the Statue of Liberty.
Anyway, so we reveal very fast plane. There's only 24 hours in a day, and that's basically we have this great guy Buford says, no, there's only 24 hours in a day, and that's that. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of a gag that you've never seen.
Yeah.
It's from Mr. Show, Bob Odenkirk's show that he did with David Cross. You ever seen any of Mr. Show?
No.
Okay. I recommend you check out this clip. Basically, there's one sketch about the number 24. Okay, it's basically Odenkirk is a mobster. David Cross and basically a bunch of the Mr. Show guys just pretend to be like other guys in the mob, and essentially it's this idea of they get into this stupid argument about like counting, and then one of them asks like it leads to this thing of like, okay, 24 is the highest number. So the mob boss wants to put an end to the stupid inane counting conversations. They get up to 24. All right, you know what? 24 is the highest number. So then they have all these things that basically are flying in the face of that, and let's just say it leads to disastrous and violent results.
Oh, God.
So it's just this hilarious runner. So it's Buford's very firm, staunch defense of like, there's only 24 hours. It just sounds very, but it reminded me so much of the Mr. Show gag.
Yeah, Buford's just, being arbitrary and all that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, nothing I've seen can make me believe that you can pull it off. It's like, except the roller coaster and all that. The times, like, the time you play the music and the platypus came back, nature just bends to your will, doesn't it?
Okay, so a couple things. Okay, so one, Buford a little off model during this whole monologue here.
What do you mean?
Well, he has eyebrows.
Okay.
He's not supposed to have eyebrows.
Well, you'll see that actually happens a bit when characters aren't supposed to have eyebrows, and then they suddenly have eyebrows.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. I get that, but I mean, it's like usually it's like Phineas like in a moment or so, but like this is like a consistent like full couple minutes of Buford like going through this whole bed, like the whole bed animation that he has eyebrows. It's like, wow, I mean, we left those eyebrows on there because initially I was watching like, why does Buford look off? Then I realized, oh yeah, he still has the eyebrows this whole scene.
I never really paid attention to that.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically the boys they're trying to get like a 40-hour day of summer here, which Buford's saying impossible. And the other thing is, why is Buford of all of a sudden like calling this out? He's not really. It's like he's the de facto Candace here for some reason. Like why? Why is Buford taking such no, this is impossible. They can't do this.
Well, Dragon, remember for the previous episode we saw him with the whole you got peanut butter in my chocolate.
Well, yeah, but that's in character for Buford, though.
Like, I don't know. I think he was just trying to be arbitrary here.
All right. I don't know. This one, you gotta. Jacob, don't you gotta admit this is just Buford serving the plot here. We need someone to challenge Phineas and Ferb.
I mean, I do see it that way, but I don't think it's entirely out of character.
No, it's not. I guess it's not out of character. I think to a point it's out of character, but I guess it's within the realm possibility. Like the bite part of the bet, and Buford making a bet over something that does sound in character. But it's like, why is he questioning like the infallible, like the infallible and unfathomable, logic of the Phineas and Ferb creations all of a sudden?
I mean, even he points out, it's like, man, nature just bends to your will, doesn't it?
He fought a giant squid to save a goldfish.
I mean, even he points it out. Even he points it out in the show itself, the episode itself, Dragon.
Yeah.
It's like so. Speaking of the bet is if the boys lose, they have to spend the rest of the summer doing nothing.
And admit that they are. What is it? That they do have to bend to the.
That you are governed by the laws of physics, and summer is not whatever you make of it.
There you go. Basically, the opposite of what Doc Brown said at the end of Back to the Future. They have to admit to that and do nothing for the whole summer.
So yeah, this episode is basically. I think they're also drawing inspiration from obviously Around the World in 80 Days.
Well, clearly, yes. There's a huge element of that in the episode.
Yes. So they obviously needed to have someone facilitate that, and obviously in this case that vehicle was Buford.
If only he had giant mutton chops and we had Steve Coogan in this. And Jackie Chan.
That would be nice, yeah.
I know everyone prefers the original one, but I'm just, come on, man. No one gives that Around the World in 80 Days movie enough credit. There were some good things in that movie. A few good things in that movie.
And they had Small World After All in that movie.
They did.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, so, and what if, if Buford loses, he'll eat a bug.
But Buford, he was going to do that. No, if they just asked to do, are you asking? No.
Or he gives back the bike.
Then we reveal that I love they didn't violently take Phineas's bike. He said, my bike. No.
It's like, Aqua does like Phineas Fogg. Actually, it's Phileas Fogg, but it is pretty close.
Yeah.
Phileas and Phineas do sound a lot alike.
They do.
So
I guess that makes Ferb Jackie Chan in this case, or like the I'm trying to remember what the Jackie Chan character's name was. Like I remember like he had kind of a fake name. I'm trying to remember what the real name was or what it was in the original. Anyway,
I don't.
The thing I don't know if it was Pong Tong or something. It was like some with a P.
I more remember the Mickey Mouse Works version of Around the World in 80 Days, where Mickey is bet by Scrooge to go around the world in 80 days.
I remember in the Jim Henson Show Dinosaurs, they had like a really funny joke about that basically turned into an Around the World in 80 Days joke.
How, like, explain to me how that goes.
Well, essentially, it's really clever. Basically, the daughter.
Yeah.
Sorry, apologies. I want to say here's the thing. Sally Struthers played daughter. I don't know if her name was Charlene. Sorry, Charlene. I was going to say Cheryl, but I knew Cheryl wasn't right. That's what I was hesitating on. Charlene basically got in trouble at school because she brought the radical idea that the Earth is round and not flat. And basically, she went to court over and everything, and she had this really clever way to get out of Dodge. She said, "I'd like to choose my punishment, my sentence, or at least recommend sentencing. Says death, and I get to choose. Basically, it's to choose the manner of death, which is I want to be forced to walk off the edge of the earth." So she basically, she walks all that. I think 80 days later, she's back.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's like, the version I'm talking about in the MouseWorks one was like, we're going around the world in 80 days. Come on, Goofy, what are you waiting for? What's the rush? We're not leaving in 80 days.
That is funny.
Yep. It's like, you forgot that, forgot the Jackie Chan one existed?
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's cute,
Ferb being Passepartout seems really strange.
That's it, Passepartout, yes.
He's really strange for some reason.
Yeah, that was the Jackie Chan character's name. It was because he was like basically looking around. He saw the passport. That's where he got the idea for the name.
And Grease High Flying Adventure is the best version of the 80 Days story.
Have you seen that one, Jacob?
Unfortunately, no. I know it's like somewhat of a continuation of Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries in a way, but or at least made by the same team who did that, from what I understand. Right?
I'm not sure.
Because I've seen like a lot of advertisements for the Warner Brothers VHS tapes growing up. Is that on? Do you know if that's on Max?
Jacob, right now Max has a shaky relationship with the Looney Tunes. I would not count on it.
Okay. I just can't look right now because I'm not subscribed to Max.
Don't look. It's not there.
Okay.
Oh, actually, we should probably real quick. No one's really going to care, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Folks, you can find the Paul Scheffler interview. It is around. I was mistaken on that one. Some interviews are still missing. That one actually is there.
Yes. Just go to. I'll probably post a link in the comments or something of this episode when I find it.
All right.
Again. So, to those who watched us last week and said it wasn't available, that is we have a redaction.
There you go. Okay. So, the point is the boys are getting ready to make their venture, but they need a little musical encouragement.
By Clay Aiken and Shaka Khan.
Dressed as Phineas and Ferb because they are stunt singers.
Yes. And they're wearing the Summer All the Time collection.
Yep.
Yep, so Phineas booked Clay Aiken, Ferb booked Shaka Khan.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep, one could say Phineas is proud of his boy, Clay Aiken.
Oh, boy.
Well, he literally sang the song. We have to work it in there somewhere.
I know.
All right. So, let's see. Okay. Anyways, also, Shaka Khan and everyone destroy the wing of the plane.
Yeah, they were all just resting on the plane and it broke, which is pretty much the least of the things that go wrong on that plane. But
Yeah.
but it was technically like a sign of things to come.
Yep.
We first time watchers wouldn't actually know that. But it's like, oh, that was like a sign. that plane and goes through the ringer so much by the end of the episode it's not even a plane anymore.
Nope.
By the end of the episode it doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
it's like so the boys reveal the giant map, basically the map the size basically the size of their house, which details their plan basically to chase the sun and have the longest day possible, which for stops to refuel in Tokyo and Paris. It's like so Buford comes along with to make sure they don't cheat. Just and he brings Baljeet as a carry-on.
Which is funny.
It's like and he's like, well, carry on then. Doesn't care that one of his friends is being treated like luggage.
No, of course not. I mean, let's be honest. Phineas really doesn't care about these people. If you ever think about it, like Jacob and I learned in a really interesting way. If you ever freeze frame Phineas and Ferb, you will see Phineas is actually a rather demented individual.
Yeah, we were trying to find thumbnails for this episode, and we searched the wiki, and some of the screen grabs they had him facing weird angles with oddly where his eyes are kind of glaring.
Yeah, basically all these awkward kind of like freeze frames of Phineas. When you look at him, though, he doesn't look either demented, evil, or just detached.
It doesn't help that his face is pointy, and it kind of adds to it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And of course, Phineas inadvertently invites Isabella to Paris.
Yep. What's he gonna do? Like, not invite her? She's everywhere. She goes everywhere with this kid because deep down, he likes her.
Very, 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 very deep down at this point.
Yes, very, very. I mean, again, we've established Phineas. I mean, he barely has any empathy or compassion for anyone aside from Ferb and Perry the Platypus. But still, it's just he's got that sick twinkle in his eye, but he does. There's something for Isabella there.
Yes. We don't know what it is yet, but it's there.
But isn't that weird? It's kind of like it's a little bit like the whole Batman Chief O'Hara thing, where Batman has contempt for Chief O'Hara. But you ever think about it though? It's like, yeah, Phineas. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, Phineas again, he's all very much like smiles and like surface level pleasantries when you really think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think we're just looking too much into it.
I think that we absolutely are. I want to be very clear. Isn't that like genuine? But it's kind of a fun observation if you overthink it. Like, yeah, you just get all smiles like delivering bad news and everything. Well, I don't know.
It's like deliver bad news in a good way.
I think unlike SpongeBob and Patrick, Phineas is not an idiot. So when he's doing that, though, it's there's something off there. There might be something off there.
You know what I mean though, with the deliver the good news in a bad way, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like Men in Tights.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's like, what are you laughing for? That's terrible. He just can't win, can he?
Nope. Poor guy.
It's like, so Candace pops out and wonders what the heck is going on. It's like, you're not going anywhere. It's like, what's with this giant map? It's like, you're going to Paris? It's like, as I said, you're not going anywhere without me.
Yeah.
So she's like, what better way to look after them by going along and keeping them out of trouble along the way? You do realize that's a massive rationalization, don't you? Oh yeah, totally. It's like, at least she's aware. At least Candace is aware that it's a rationalization and nothing more. It's like, so, but she decides to go to Paris and take the time to see Jeremy.
Yep.
And Stacy mentions stop by and see my cousins in Tokyo. So it's amazing how much of the stuff in the beginning gets called back later on, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So, and of course after they take off, Buford, of course, reinforcing, ready for you to lose. And the Fireside Girls and the people get ready to clean up the backyard, even putting Clay Aiken and Shaka Khan to work. We're only here for the hour, you know. And we learned something about Buford this episode, Dragon. He's not a big fan. He's not a fan of the Pacific Ocean.
We learn a few things about Buford in this episode.
I know, but in this moment, we learned he's not a big fan of the Pacific Ocean. So yeah, so why are we checking on Doofenshmirtz once again?
Let's.
Yes.
All right, let's see. So, yeah, we're in Tokyo.
Yep, where the boys are about to arrive as well.
And basically, Vanessa, she's had up to here with her father. She leaves. Is like, Vanessa, wait! You have the traveler checks,
which is apparently a reference to a commercial. I've never seen the commercial or heard of it, but apparently that's what it's a reference to.
Yeah.
He's like, really, Dad? It's like, oh, come on, Vanessa, just let me wrap up here. We can go.
Yeah, but anyway, so then gets into a scuffle with Perry Plaza. I love that when she's storming off, says, "Oh, hey, Perry," and it's like still like storming off.
It's like just Perry being there is basically just a normal occurrence for her at this point.
So the button breaks, it gets pushed, and basically gets it spins around wildly. And in doing so, horrifying moment. Vanessa gets hit. She gets hit and she gets knocked off the Tokyo Tower, and Doofenshmirtz very concerned, like, Vanessa!
But we'll find out what happens in a bit.
Yep.
Because we kind of skipped ahead a little bit.
Well, yeah.
And the gang arrives in Tokyo, and Phineas forgets to put out the landing gear. I thought it was a little grindy and sparky.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's an awful Phineas in this episode. He's trying to, he's just callously, oh well, no brakes, no landing gear.
It's like he forgot to put out the landing gear.
Like this is, it sounds like the next episode's going to kind of call this out a little bit. Phineas, his design prowess, something's off here. He's getting more reckless, like more like you need to sign waivers beforehand, kind of Phineas.
Yeah. And of course, and seemingly Ferb knows Japanese.
Well,
he's able to talk to Stacy's grandmother. Speaking of which, Bachan is actually the Japanese word for grandmother. And she's voiced by Lauren Tom.
Now that's appropriate.
Yep. And next up is probably the strangest song in this episode. J-pop, or Welcome to Tokyo.
Yeah.
What did you make of Welcome to Tokyo?
I mean, all the anime, versions of the Phineas and Ferb characters is cute, but it was like a really weird sequence. Like, wow, this.
Yep, that's a thing.
A little disturbing. Initially, it seemed a little problematic. My first watch is this problematic? Like all the Stacys, but we did establish it. She's got cousins, but I mean, that many cousins, really?
Yeah, it's a big family. She has a big family.
I don't know. I just felt a little like we want to connect Stacy to all the Japanese, all the Japanese singers.
It's like, well, the funny thing is, like, according to Din, the lyrics were actually written, like translating some facts about the city from English and translating them back into English, to produce English lyrics. So, and the funny thing is, like, two of the things in there were actually, even though they kind of look at me, they're actually sweet, actually like Swedish. Caramel Denson and the Leak Spin are actually from Europe, but are popular in Japan. Kind of weird how that turns out, huh?
Yep.
And you know what tempura is, Dragon?
God, I've heard tempura before.
Well, it's a Japanese dish
Right. Well, is this like the octopus bowl thing?
No, I think that's takoyaki.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's what I'm thinking of. What's tempura?
Japanese consists of seafood, vegetables, and use sometimes meat, battered and deep fried.
Oh,
So yeah, that's it. So they're able to use the oil from the tempura restaurant because apparently the sun beater runs on vegetable oil, so it's
right. We
environmentally
established that very Jetsons like.
friendly.
Yeah.
Which is nice of Phineas to take the environment into account.
Not the safety of his passengers, but yeah.
like, but the environment.
But again, Jacob, the safety of his passengers,
Well, remember, Dragon on his way. Like, make sure your seatbelts are on.
including the eventual mother of his children, and his brother, and his Baljeet.
And to be fair, he did, and his Baljeet. And to be fair, he did tell them to make sure your seatbelts are clicked in and your seat backs are in the upright position.
Yes, so you can die in a neatly wrapped package. Yes,
and so he can't get sued.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine the black box on that one.
I say I can't believe they referenced caramel dancing. Yep. The funny thing is, it's not even The funny thing is, technically, caramel dancing is not Japanese; it's Swedish.
Yeah, it's Ted Danson's cousin from Switzerland. Sweden, sorry, not from Sweden.
The funny thing is, in a future episode that shows Japan, there is actually a sign that says "I love Sweden," referencing the mistake they made.
We all love the Swedes, man.
Yep. Swedes are nice. They gave us Swedish meatballs.
I mean, they're sweet, those Swedes.
And IKEA.
Oh god, yeah, man. For that, they're completely invaluable. I mean, everyone loves Deadpool loves IKEA.
Yep. And you know what? And
you know who doesn't like IKEA?
Who? Francis?
Blind Al. No, Blind Al.
Huh.
Remember, she has to assemble all that IKEA.
Because she's blind.
Yeah. Still, just one of the best jokes they carried over from that script to that movie. Just the fact that Blind Al has to build the IKEA furniture. Just so literally, it's only for Deadpool's amusement. There's nothing he gets out of it because he's paying the rent and everything. All she has to do is assemble the IKEA furniture.
Oh god. I'm glad we're getting her back for 3.
Yeah, I don't know how long she'll be in it, but she'll be there.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact: Blind Al, Leslie Uggams, she was in an Oscar movie recently.
Which one?
American Fiction.
Oh, nice.
Had a decent role too. Not a big role, but an important role.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Vanessa storms off, gets knocked off the tower.
Yes, Vanessa.
And she lands on Phineas and Ferb's jet.
Yep.
It's like Ferb, Vanessa. No matter where we go, Ferb knows everyone.
Very Muppet joke.
Yep. It's like so.
So that she gets in, and Doofenshmirtz has conflicting feelings about this. Oh, good, she's safe, and that they're going away with her. I've got mixed feelings about this rescue.
And then he begs, he begs Monogram and Perry to take him along to track her down and bring her back.
This whole subplot reminds me of something which I'm pretty sure I know Podmeyer is referenced in the episode. I assume he directed the episode, which is why that reference is in there. But I get huge Road to Rupert vibes from this plot line.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because that's the Road to Rupert's the one where we have like the SpongeBob reference in the Family Guy episode, which is using the campfire song that Podmeyer wrote.
This is the campfire. The campfire song.
Yeah, the campfire song.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I forget Podmeyer directed the full episode. Do you remember if he did all the road twos or just like the one?
I think he did he did all the road twos up until like I think the first one he did not do was Road to Germany.
That's what I'm saying. He did all the good Road 2 episodes.
Yes.
To be fair, Road to Germany's okay. I'm saying after Road to Germany is where we're getting the whole.
And Road to Multiverse was good too.
Well, here's the thing with the Road 2s. At a certain point, I would say after Multiverse, I that's where I dropped off. So I don't know where they went after that. But let's just say the Road 2 episodes were even when Family Guy was starting to decline. The Road 2s were kind of the exception. But let's face it, the original 3 Road 2s were very, very solid.
And Who directed all three of them? Dan.
Avi.
Exactly. It's like Seth trusted him with those, basically.
Yes.
And he also directed a couple of the musical numbers as well. Like,
Well,
I think he specifically mentioned he directed Shapoopy.
Yep, I know. Yeah, he did the Shapoopy.
And of course, I think one of the other he directed like When You Wish Upon a Weinstein.
Oh, I love that one.
And the other one that comes off the top of my mind is a PTV.
Hebrew people I've adored.
I need a Jew. And of course, PTV with the infamous FCC song.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite episode or your favorite song?
Well, honestly, I don't know if it's my favorite. Maybe my favorite song from Family Guy. I love the whole of the freaking FCC song.
Yep, he's actually mentioned talking. He has actually talked about that on his YouTube channel.
Very nice.
Like
I remember he was. I forget if it was just him or was it one of the other animators, but I believe he was drawing some of the sequences and he had to hide it because he had like family over or something.
I don't know.
He's drawing like the whole the ding-a-ling kind of gag and he had to like hide it.
The thing I remember him mentioning on imagine him bringing it on for that was like some of the scenes that they wanted him to cut, but then they added in scenes that seemed more innocent, but were actually a lot worse in context.
I wonder if he did the. I wonder if that one of those included the. It wasn't a musical number though. But I'm saying in the PTV episode, they had some cuts, and one of the funniest. It's a gross gag, but I think it was done very tastefully. Was I dare you to crap off of that? In which it's this is what I'm saying. This is like, folks, bathroom humor when executed well can really work, even if it is gross. As I'm saying, there's an artfulness to the gross out stuff. Where we didn't see anything. Just the idea that Peter basically on an overpass. We don't see it, but we're in the POV of the thing, and we hear we cut the black and we hear the splat, and it's like, okay. Yeah, we had the cut to the aftermath of Stu, like, turn off the windshield wipers. They don't work. They're only making it worse. Like that's priceless.
Yeah.
Hysterical. Like, Stewie won't even go in the car. It's like, oh man, Family Guy back in its good old days.
Yeah, it was great. Like Aquatet brings up, imagine if he was brought on for Road to El Dorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be. I don't know if it would
I
be.
don't think that movie needed help in the song department. I mean, all those songs are pretty solid, though.
Maybe in the other departments, though. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm satisfied with the Road to El Dorado.
I mean,
man, I love that movie.
I mean, I like it too.
I'm saying I'll go to bat for El Dorado any day.
In terms of DreamWorks movies, it is pretty underrated.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they take off with Vanessa.
Which Ferb's happy about.
Yep.
Problem. They're already pushing it with Candace with like an unscheduled passenger, and now
it's like, is this going to affect our arrival in Paris? I'll let you know in about 2 seconds.
Candace?
Yeah, it is going to affect our arrival in Paris.
That gag is very Road to Rupert to me as well. Just that whole, it's like, we're crashing. Well, Dan did write and direct this episode. Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yep. Anyway, so they crash somewhere in the Himalayas.
Welcome to the Himalayas. But instead of the Yeti, they have to keep an eye out for the Klimpaloon,
which Candace thinks is suspiciously made up sounding, but no, the Klimpaloon is in fact real.
It's the magical old-timey bathing suit that lives in the Himalayas.
No.
And you thought I made it up.
Which I'm pretty sure is the voice of Pavmeyer.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No.
Like, yep. And you thought I made it up. Come on, Candace. Does that sound like something someone would make up? My answer to that is yes. Yes, it does.
Anyway.
So fortunately, Baljit's uncle Sabu lives near the location of the crash. And which Candace and Vanessa decide to stay with the plane. And Vanessa asks a very important question. what is Ferb short for?
I don't really know.
Yep, Candace doesn't know what Ferb is short for.
I didn't think Ferb was short for anything.
Yep. Remember in the Vanessa Sari roughness, like when they're in the ball pit, he's like, it's like, your name is Ferb. Well, yes, it's short for. Oh, here it is. Because when they were searching for the Pizzazium Infinianite.
She remembers him. She remembers that Ferb.
Yep, she remembers it. So, Candace, what is Ferb short for?
Do you think she's attracted to him because his head is the shape of a father's building? Do you think it is something that kind of like just that Freudian? Do you think it's just like, he reminds me of my father?
No. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Maybe it's the fact that
it's kind of like the Nemo thing. When I'm with you, it's like I'm home.
like, or it could be the fact that he's British.
Not true.
I mean, he is British after all, Dragon.
Well, that too. I mean, way to stereotype the English is attractive, but okay.
I mean, hey, would that be a bad thing?
Well, it's a positive stereotype. I'm not complaining. I don't know. What if you have an attractive Englishman who's just very offended by you putting him in a category of like, we have dreams, Jacob. It's not all tea and crumpets all the time,
I'm just saying, people. The funny thing is, Lawrence actually mentions that kind of thing in a future episode. Yeah. The tea and crumpet stereotype.
By the way,
it's like, and I'm just
in the revival, we got to have Brett Goldstein in somewhere in the new season.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Funny enough, there's actually an episode that focuses around soccer.
There you go.
And unfortunately, it was before Ted Lasso was a thing.
They just have this one player who's constantly getting censored, like a lot of bleeps and everything. No! It's like, just bleep this, bleep that.
It's actually, I'm just saying,
people just going like, oh my.
I'm just saying, people like British accents.
That's true. Okay, so Baljit's uncle gets him out of Dodge. We have a Bollywood number.
Yep. Sabu, voiced by Brian George.
Good old Brian George. Wonderful Brian George of Seinfeld fame, and does a lot of voice work. I mean, he was in The Batman. He voiced Alfred in the Batman Killing Joke, the animated film. He's great. He's great. Brian George was wonderful.
And Duff Killigan.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that he was Duff Killigan. He really is that great.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. How wonderful is Brian George? That man has range.
That he does.
That's what I'm saying. He's great. Anyway.
It's like, how about Jeet and friends? I was expecting you. Really? No, there's something we say up here to freak out the tourists.
Do this whole musical number, and by the end of it, it's like, so what do you sell again? Okay, everyone from the top.
It's like, speaking of before that, I just love that he's like, do you live here? Oh, yes, it's quite a trek, isn't it? Used to be very inconvenient for me, but then I built my factory right here, and now it's inconvenient for everyone else. It's like, he's my spirit animal, I swear.
Yep. But really, he's your spirit animal?
I mean, just that sentiment, basically.
All right.
I'm just kidding anyway, but...
I would kind of... Here's the thing. It's so weird, because I would say, like, Jimmy McGill is my spirit animal, actually. That guy's me. At my core, like, that guy's like, yes, this guy gets me.
I'm just saying, I guess I could have more than one spirit animal, but in terms of that, like, some people just never vow to be that incredibly petty. So there we go. Yep. So if you notice during the musical's number, Buford is actually pulling them along, being pulled on by a cookie on a stick. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
What did you make of that?
I thought it was priceless.
Yep, Buford. It's, you kind of have to be paying attention to know it's there. Like, you don't really see it because it goes by so quickly, but it is kind of funny. So Doofenshmirtz continues to be tracking Vanessa and finds them on the mountain. And Perry and Monogram, unfortunately, spring-load him off of it. Off of their skiff.
Which turns into a giant snowball.
Start the plane! I think
very Raiders-esque.
I think you're going to want to start the plane, but the thing is, they borrowed all the rubber bands and rubber balls with super special density. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, Brian George also voiced Penguin and Merry Little Batman.
And he's Professor Pig and Beware the Batman. Yeah, he does a lot of Batman related stuff too.
Well, he has a good pedigree then.
He is.
Yep. So they attached this giant rubber ball full of rubber bands to their bottom of the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So and it runs into the plane, and while the kids are inside it. And Dragon, I have a feeling I know what time it is.
It's Gritty Reboot time! All right, Jacob, take it away.
I thought you would have something in mind here.
I do when you brought it up, so you go.
I was like, well, I think we all know how this goes. They get everyone except Candace is knocked down the mountain, including Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just say that considering Phineas's previous recklessness, the rubber band ball was not attached to the plane as well as you had hoped.
Nope.
And instead, let's just say it bounces, but the plane bounces, but let's just say there were no survivors. Candace is stranded in the mountains. The only thing nearby is the Klimpaloon and Doofenshmirtz. Take it from your Dragon.
Well, no, Doofenshmirtz went down with him, Jacob.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But we don't. But he's hardy. He'd survive, and he has the clones too.
Candace had to wear the Klimpaloon
for warmth.
For warmth, all the way. She had here's the thing. She forgot where Baljeet's uncle lived, which would have been her salvation if only she had paid more attention.
Well, she didn't go there. Remember?
I know she didn't go. She has no idea where he is, but if she only knew, it's like a Twilight Zone thing. She has to wear the Klimpaloon. Then when basically other tourists show up, the Klimpaloon like on her basically her pants eat people.
It's Klimpaloon, not Klimpballoon.
Are you sure?
Yeah, there's no B in it.
Okay.
It's Klimpaloon.
All right, fine. The rogue pants eats tourists. That's my point. Okay.
All right. It's not the Yeti.
No.
It's the pants.
Yep. It's the old-timey bathing suit.
That lives in the Himalayas.
Yep. Kansas bathing suit area is lethal, apparently.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Do you have any other additions to the Gritty reboot?
No, it's pretty gritty. I think we're good.
Yep.
I mean, you Jacob, you monster, you knocked them all off, man. You let Dan and Swampy kill all those kids in an icy way, and you gave them the delusion of hope with rubber bands.
You would have done the same thing.
Yeah, we'll never know now, will we?
Admit it, that was your Gritty reboot too.
No, it wasn't my Gritty reboot. No.
Do you have another one upcoming then?
I might.
All right, but probably regarding the second time they get stranded.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Like so in the actual episode, of course, the boys actually like Code Geass has his own Gritty reboot. In the Gritty reboot, instead of being saved, Vanessa followed her dead Dr. Doofenshmirtz to get somebody to stop the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and Superman would have to fix it again.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
No, he's not even in Italy. That's what I'm wondering about. Look, I understand the Leaning Tower of Pisa thing, but it's just like, he's not even in Italy, though.
I know. I think we brought that up before. I think it was like he's referring to like the episode where he's like trying to lean it previously.
Right.
So
it'll be like a dramatic thing where, like, with his bare hands, Doofenshmirtz is, like, I'm going to strengthen this tower and demand pizza.
Yeah, that's pretty much his plot in that episode.
Yep.
It's like so.
Doofenshmirtz eliminates everyone in the Leaning Tower and then turns it into a pizza place.
Yep. And as we guessed, there probably is a pizza shop near that place in reality.
That's the Doofenshmirtz. He brutally murders everyone there, and then for his grief, he opens his pizza shop and he realizes, why are there no customers? And he looks across the way. Oh, there's a pizza shop across from the Leaning Tower of Pizza.
Yep.
Yep. I
Yep.
didn't do any of that.
I really need to think my plans through more.
Yeah.
Oh, well, live and learn.
Come with me by the platypus. Basically, he's killed Perry and stuffed him. He basically has him like little taxidermy carry on everywhere he goes, so he can live out his old life.
And he has him hanging over the fireplace.
Yep. He's just
All
Perry with like his mouth open, like the tongue sticking out, just looking like really silly, like
Does he have the hat?
Yes.
It's like if the hat falls off, it's like, man, when did I get this random platypus taxidermy?
Exactly. That is exactly what would happen.
Like, when did I get this platypus taxidermy? All I have is Perry the platypus.
Yeah.
So anyway, like the plane bounces around the world.
In 80 days. Well, less than 80 days.
The bet would be long lost at that point.
True.
We get the glorious return of Love Handle, singing "Bouncing Around the World," which is of course just bowling for soup, of course. And it's nice to have them back once again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like seeing all the cool sights around the world. This really would be the ultimate summer vacation, just going to all these different locations.
Oh yeah.
It's like going to Rome, India, seeing all these different places. Russia, there's all kinds of things.
Oh yeah.
And of
see
course,
the pyramids, Africa. The Amsterdam, Italy, Moscow.
Yep.
Sydney, Australia, which means they pass P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way.
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
I love that just collectively we all know that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that dragon.
Oh, absolutely. I just love that film. Like, just one viewing of Nemo will indoctrinate that address into you.
Well, it doesn't help that Dory repeats it over and over again.
What I'm saying, that's great. It's impressive.
It's like P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Yep.
Great, now you've got it stuck in my head. Hey, Mr. Grumpy Gills.
No, Dory, now I get that song stuck in my head.
Sorry. Who could it be? It's me.
Okay, so it's small, it's orange, it's me.
It's like, are you my conscience?
Yes, Dory, I'm your conscience.
We haven't spoken in a while. How are you? Yeah, can't complain. My conscience, am I dead?
No, I don't think so, Dory. No.
No, I see it too.
There's something wrong with you. I don't have time for this.
Hello. Oh, I love that movie.
I should know, funny. I'm a clownfish. God, I'm sorry. It's your turn to the Albert Brooks Appreciation Hour at this rate. I love that, man. We got to move on from this.
Yeah, I know. So, well, a lot of rubber bands, but the good news is we're going to crash into Paris.
Thankfully, they crash. I guess it's the Seine. Is that where they land? Seems
like it'd be the Seine, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Seine does run through Paris, so yeah.
Yeah.
So how's that good news? I thought you wanted to go to Paris.
Oh, right, I did. So they end up in Serape. Sorry, I had that upside down. Paris.
Yep. Doofenshmirtz was somehow holding his GPS upside down.
I love that.
Yep. And not to mention, he's been tracking her this whole time through the GPS in her earrings.
Yeah, so Vanessa has, in quotes, rented a scooter with Ferb.
Yeah, they all go split up. It's like, Vanessa, you rented a scooter. Yeah, rented.
I love that joke.
Yep, and Phineas is none the wiser.
Oh, well, I don't think Phineas cares. Like, yes, steal all you want. As long as I get to hold on to you on the bike, just steal whatever you want.
And of course, Aquatad is the city of airplane parts. Yep. We're getting to that.
That's Serape for you.
We're getting to that. It's like so. Of course, Ferb's probably having the time of his life sitting on the back of a scooter with Vanessa.
Yes, I mean that is the dream.
Just sit on the back of the scooter with the one you love.
Or there's any woman named Vanessa, really, but
The dragon. The most important thing with a girl for you is if her name is Vanessa.
No. But it does help.
It's like, what is your name? It's like, Jesse? No, I'm sorry, I can't.
It's not a deal breaker. It's like Vanessa's like, okay, this sweetens the pot.
Like, is your name Vanessa? No, we're done.
No.
It's my middle name.
That's the Kingpin's dating experience.
It's my middle. My middle name is Vanessa, though.
Okay, that's good enough. Let's go.
Do you mind if I just call you Vanessa? Okay. So yeah, Buford and Belgie go to scare up some fuel, which we'll get to that.
By the way, awkward act breaks in the way that Disney Plus has broken this up. Just the whole just like if Phineas and Isabel, they're split in the city of love, and like commercial breaks. Like, really, that's it? That's your big dramatic act break?
Yep, it's like when I go look at some parts. Yes, I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. It's all good, bro.
All right, like that's a lame cliff. That's a lame kind of act break.
Yeah, well, blame Disney Plus for that.
I do. I know it's not the show's fault, but still, they had to put the credits somewhere.
Yeah, they probably could have done it when they crashed. That probably would have been better.
Yeah.
But I guess they had to fill it in the arbitrary length.
Anyway.
So that's on to part 2.
So Candace is annoying the Parisians as a tourist trying to find Jeremy.
It's like, oh, don't worry, I speak English. Yes, I speak English. And the funny dragon, Jeremy is staying at the Hotel La Poubelle. That's what he's looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can't imagine it's probably not a very good hotel. You're probably staying there very cheaply. You don't know why?
Why?
Do you know what La Poubelle means in French?
What does it mean in French?
Trash can.
That's funny.
Yes. He's literally staying at Hotel Trash Can. Yep, literally. I don't know if they chose the word because they liked it or they figured some people out there would know it or look it up. So I don't know if that was an intentional on their part. They was like, okay, that word works for hotel, so let's just go with that. All right. But we have an interesting bit of character development with Candace here, where she actually finds the hotel and sees Jeremy. What happens, Dragon?
Well, she sees that Jeremy's having ice cream with other people, including a couple French girls.
Yep, but the thing is, it's more like she realizes that wait, he has a life outside of me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit of character development on her part,
which we epitomize with the sad mime runner.
Yep.
There's this mime. He shows up and he lets go of balloons. The art house mime.
Supposedly, I think it's supposed to be a reference to a French film called La Ballon Rouge. I think that's specifically what it's referring to, which of course means red balloon. Yeah, I'm gonna flex all the French knowledge I got, Dragon.
Okay.
This is my time to shine here.
Sure.
So yeah, Candace actually begins to feel a bit guilty. He's like, what am I doing? I chased him all the way here because which is kind of an interesting introspection on Candace's part. And then of course we get to probably one of the sadder parts of the episode, one of the saddest songs in the entire series. City of Love. Dragon, what are your thoughts on City of Love?
Yes, this is Isabella's song, right?
Yep, Isabella's song.
So, yeah, it's just Isabel kind of assessing her life choices here.
Yep, the entire time she's just imagining just doing something in Paris with Phineas.
Yep, and just all these obsessed with airplane parts.
Yes. Underneath the Eiffel Tower, we could use some scrap metal here.
Yep.
Yep. Only he could go to the Eiffel Tower. I wonder if there's any pieces of them for scrap metal.
Yeah, so this drives her nuts after the song where we have this thing where she's holding this pencil.
It's like basically it's a minute. It's basically a minute and a half of Isabella trying, and constantly getting more and more heartbroken throughout the song as it goes.
It's like kicking a puppy.
Yep, and I actually do have some little stuff for the song though.
Yeah.
It's like, speaking of like the French I was talking about earlier, like the song, the way she pronounced it in the song is like "Ma chérie, je t'aime." That's actually not how it's pronounced. It's "je t'aime." That's actually how it's pronounced, and it actually means "my darling, I love you" in French. And another thing, the phrase "How can you not feel the same way when we're strolling down the Champs Elysees?" It's actually one of Dan's favorite lyrics that he's ever written.
Huh.
So yeah, it's a very sad song. Like, it's a very tear-jerking song. If you notice, you can even like see like it's colorful. There's hearts in the air, and then during like the sadder moments, they're broken hearts on the ground. It's very sad. Yeah, but as you mentioned, it does get played for laughs in basically the next scene. Explain what happens, Trek.
Yes. So meanwhile, Ferb. Before we get there, Ferb on the Eiffel Tower.
Yep, Ferb and Vanessa.
Yep, Vanessa's got a thing for towers. She digs towers, man.
Well, I mean, if I think about it, her dad lives in a giant building.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's something there. Think about it. She's thinking of her father's building, and she's with a young man who resembles her father's building. She's got a thing for heights, buildings, and people that resemble her father's building.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think Vanessa needs a therapist.
It's like, well, she's like, telling like, I know he's my dad and he's busy, but he's always like he puts work ahead of me. I don't know what to do. And Ferb has some really good advice here.
That he does sometimes we have to meet people halfway.
Well, if you love somebody, you have to meet them halfway.
We need a really good line.
Exactly. Ferb has moments of wisdom. It's not always played for humor. It's always played for sometimes played for seriousness, like it is here.
Yep. Anyway, so Doofenshmirtz finds her again. He and Major Monobrow.
It's like monobrow. Oh, come on! You've never noticed that thing, and that's one line for crying out loud.
Really funny.
I'm getting my tweezers back from Carl.
Anyway, so we're halfway around the world looking for you. He says halfway. He says, "Oh yeah, you could put it that way." And then so she's touched by the gesture. She goes with her father and she thanks Ferb. Bye, Ferb. So then Ferb, he drops the little flower.
It turns out he left his post to go get a single rose. Yep. And then when he came back to present it to her, she was gone.
Oh yeah.
Aw. You feel bad for Ferb at that moment.
Yeah, but he'll win the war.
Yeah, but that was one of the suggestions I jokingly suggested for the thumbnail.
Yep.
It's just the image of Ferb holding up the rose.
Anyway, so he returns to his brother, and then Phineas says, "Oh man, you and Vanessa. That's so sad. I thought, boy, girl, city of love." So we see the animation on this Isabella is priceless. Seeing her, this cute little, this genuinely cute little girl, just like getting so ridiculously pissed off at Phineas.
He's like, the moment she says a boy, a girl, her like eyes go instantly wide, like. And then, alone, the city of love. Then she's like, I thought romance was a foregone conclusion. And she's like,
his braces. He does get it, but not with me. What is wrong with him?
It's like she's like, you can probably imagine all the obscenities that are going through her mind at that point.
I'm gonna tape him down to a highway and paint his face orange. And wait for the cars to come. He's driving me crazy.
So you can imagine probably all of the obscenities going through her head at that point.
That mother, son of a...
Pretty much.
Traffic cone looking mother.
And she was not happy.
Yep.
And she...
Gonna take a mallet to his stupid head.
And she ends up breaking a pencil in half with her bare hands.
Yep.
Which is not that easy to do.
Nope. Anyway, so as Ferb lends her a new pencil. Then
I need a new pencil. Of course, Phineas doesn't hear what's going on.
No, he doesn't.
Like this is the episode where a lot of people were like, "Seriously, Phineas."
Anyway, so then Candace shows up with the whole Jeremy thing. He says, "Oh, Candace, you boy, girl, city of love," and Isabella's head literally blows up, and he goes, "Isabella!"
Yep, she's like, then after that entire time of her trying to, not even really dropping hints, like really like saying, "Spend time with me here, dang it."
Jacob, do you know what time it is?
Gritty reboot time.
Gritty reboot time.
Gritty reboot time.
So, in the Gritty reboot, this is no fantasy.
Her head literally explodes.
Her head really explodes, and Phineas and everyone just freaked out. "Oh God, what happened? I don't know. I just mentioned a girl, a boy and a girl, the city of love." And Candace's like, "Phineas, you didn't." Says, "What? You didn't realize she loved you, you stupid moron. She loved. Oh no." And I just toyed with her emotions, and all the guilt is hitting Phineas as he kind of wakes up to it. I don't go to airplane parts. We got them for a bargain. I didn't know I was slighting her. It says, "Oh, she's got a family. This Garcia Shapiro, you got to break the news to her. You killed her daughter. I didn't do anything. You toyed with her emotions for half the summer. Maybe longer."
Foul-mouthed Isabella is something that happened in the Gritty reboot.
There you go. And Phineas is like tossing and turning, which is really hard for him given the shape of his head. But he's tossing and turning, and he has like a nightmare about a foul-mouthed Isabella just like chewing him out over his guilt of like, "You should have effing married me."
But we're not even.
I went to the future. We had children. How is this gonna work now? You ripple in time guy, you.
Well, remember that Phineas didn't go to the future after that point, and technically we didn't even see Isabella and Phineas having kids.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Why do you hate love?
I didn't say I hate Love Dragon. I'm actually kind of a sucker for it.
No. Crushing the girl's hope. The girl just died, and you're saying she didn't have a chance. That's what you're saying, Jacob.
It's like in the Gritty reboot, Phineas wouldn't even notice that she died because he was still looking for airplane parts.
Everyone's like, "What was that?" "Oh, nothing."
And nobody, and
Then Miss Garcia Shapiro saying, "Phineas, have you seen Isabella?" Says, "Who?" My daughter, your little friend, Baljeet. Like, no, my daughter.
I think we're pushing Phineas' sociopathy a little bit too much.
I don't know. You look at those freeze frames. Even during the Isabella sequence, he looks so detached and unfeeling.
Yeah, but he does.
Imagine the show You, but with Phineas.
I've never seen You.
Well, Penn Bagley swapped out with the Phineas Flint Fletcher.
I've never seen that show.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix, I know, but
I mean, I dropped off it after a certain point because I think, honestly, I forget if I did season 3 or not. I might have, but I think that's the thing. I did 3 seasons of it, and I was out. I just couldn't take any more of it. The first season's the only one you really need to watch.
Okay, it's one of those. So it's one of the ones that Netflix should have canceled after the first season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they want to end on a high note, then yes.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, again, there's like a few glimmers, but it's like I don't think I think this might be my taste. I don't know. First season's good.
Yep. All right.
Also features the girl who played the live action Anna in Once Upon a Time.
Oh, nice.
Which I'm sure Gogias, anime fan, really appreciates because I know he loves Frozen.
And we love Once Upon a Time.
That we do, particularly.
Lana
the Frozen season.
Yep.
Well, yeah, of course, Lana Parrilla. I mean, come on, water is wet, man.
In other news, water Wet.
Gotham crime-ridden. Water is wet.
Lana Parrilla.
Well, yeah. Perilla equals perfection, but
Yep. I'm trying to think of like what the perfect cast for you would be. Like obviously Lana Parrilla, Vera Farmiga, those two obviously.
Well, yeah.
Like probably Odenkirk as well.
Okay. Get Tom Cavanaugh in there.
Yep.
Little D'Onofrio because he's in everything.
Yeah, so that would be like the perfect cast for you.
Sure.
And then we could throw in Ben Schwartz to throw everything off.
No.
To ruin everything.
No.
So you don't want to ruin everything.
No, I don't want to ruin it. I don't want Schwartz anywhere near this. No. Get him out. Out. Tell him to go the other way. Tell him to close session. Tell him we cast all the parts. Tell him the position has been filled.
All right, Chris Parnell, you've got Ben Schwartz's part.
Oh, look, between the two, I'll take Parnell. I'm choosing him in gym class. I'll take Parnell. Just not Schwartz. Anyone but Schwartz. I don't want Schwartz.
I know you just said you didn't have a problem with Schwartz.
I don't personally have a problem with Schwartz, but I think he has questionable choices and roles.
More of like you have a taste in the roles he chooses.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. He plays often, with very few exceptions. Does he end up with a role that doesn't annoy?
All right, let's move on.
I said few exceptions.
I know.
Specific exceptions.
I know.
Blue-shirted exceptions.
He was also good as Leo in Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I don't know. I tried watching that, but anyway, we're gonna move on.
That's what I was trying to do.
You're right.
Well, it's Ben Schwartz, but yes, he's good in Parks and Recreation and Sonic.
No, it is Bill Schwartz. He is very good cookie. Yes, Bill Schwartz.
You don't have to get his name wrong out of spite.
No, it's not out of spite. I'm saying yes, Bill Schwartz is probably good in those roles.
All right, let's move on. So yeah, Isabella's head explodes literally in her mind. It's like, Isabella, are you okay? Peachy.
So dark.
Yep, peachy.
Isabella says before she kills people, peachy. Yeah. How are you?
It's like
just peachy. Bam.
It's like the people's like, okay, this is the start of my villain story. That's the start of her villain origin story.
Yep.
So Candace comes back and it's like is it weird like when you see your teacher at the grocery store weird, or when you know someone for a long time starts wearing a grocery hat weird, wearing a cowboy hat weird.
Wearing a grocery hat.
Yeah, I know. I mixed up. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying a grocery. I've never heard of such a thing. But anyway, so the cowboy hat thing. Yeah.
And he's like, good, because I was thinking about getting a cowboy hat, and he never does.
No,
he never gets a cowboy hat.
He couldn't handle that hat.
It's like, he did say he was thinking about it. He didn't say it was confirmed or not.
I'm saying he made a good choice.
I mean, we have seen him in cowboy hats before, Dragon, remember?
No, I know that, but I'm saying like for the lifestyle choice of the cowboy hat,
It's like, it's like not something that he should wear permanently, is what you're saying.
No, exactly. Now Lawrence could pull off any hat.
It's like, especially one with a chain on it.
And oh my god, he would rock the heck out of that of a chain hat, man.
Would you like to yank my chain?
You know, if Lawrence walked into a bar, I mean, he had that line.
Would you like to yank my chain?
I mean, Linda chose Lawrence for a reason. I mean, come on.
Yep, she did.
I mean, he had fine choice in headwear back in the day, and he knew who to ask. Like, hey, of all the lovely ladies in this bar, would you like to pull my chain?
They don't make Stetsons for people with nacho-shaped heads.
No.
Yeah, that's sad. It's an injustice, really, Dragon.
The industry discriminates. I don't know what to tell you, Aquatad. It just does.
uh,
Yeah.
It's like so. The boys encourage Candace by telling her all the things that she's done throughout the
Queen of
summer.
Mars, time traveled.
Coup de crayon. It's like you believed in us, and we believe in you. Therefore, by the transitive properties, you do believe in yourself.
There's some pathos here. Candace Summer, building to this, like she has a summer of her whole summer is basically amounted failures, but the boys kind of put a positive spin on it.
It's like of all the things that she's done and all the things that she's accomplished out, because she's thinking about it, she's solely focusing on trying to get them busted.
Yeah.
But all the other stuff that she's done in side by side with that, yeah, they have a point.
Yep.
She's freaking Martian royalty.
Yeah.
Even though they eventually did eventually make the baking soda volcano their leader.
Yes.
But she doesn't need to know that.
Well, still, it's like, she was like Queen of Mars. It's the whole ex-president thing. It's like, yes, Mr. President, or it's like, yes, Queen of Mars.
And she was almost mayor for a day, but that got rewound, and
Yep.
It's like, I was robbed.
You were, Candace. You were.
And just as she was about to bust the boys officially,
The universe conspired against her, but she got her revenge.
You could say it's Candace against the universe.
Yes.
Yep. Which actually takes a really sad look on how that's how all that's affecting her.
All right, so Candace and Jeremy, they have their scene at the bridge.
Yep. It's like you'd think my girlfriend would be more trusting of me. Jeremy, did you? And she's like, did you use the G word?
Yeah. Use the G word, and she used the B word.
Yep. Oh, it's like, yep. Which is nice. It's like, it's finally official now.
Yep, and Jeremy asked the K word her. You know what that means, Jacob?
Yes. Yes,
he wants to kill her.
Somehow I knew that's what you're going to say.
Sorry, I couldn't resist because I remember the one episode of Ultimate Spider-Man that I do like. The one episode.
Besides the Deadpool one?
No, that's the Deadpool one. That's what I'm getting at. It's the one episode of that show I like.
It's like where they can't say the K word around Deadpool.
That's basically Deadpool can't say kill, but he basically Will Friedle is definitely uses this great abbreviation. It's like, oh yeah, you mean we're gonna K word them? K word them? What do you mean? Like,
and keep in mind he was saying unalive before it became a trend online.
Exactly, unalive and K word, which is just really funny.
Yep, it's like, and they're like, you mean kill?
Exactly.
Yep. It's like so, and basically that entire episode became like a battle of the fourth wall breaks.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so Jeremy wants the K word, or he wants to kill Candace. Now they've given each other labels.
Yep. It's like, all right, Jimmy, start kissing. And of course they're floating away.
Oh, and then he puts away the knife. Like, oh, sure, that, Kate. Yes, let's do that. Yes. Because like Jeremy's always the quiet ones. Like Jeremy's all sunshine and rainbows, and he's like deep down he's Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean,
it's a good thing. It's a good thing Candace had her eyes closed.
Yeah, thank goodness. Let's say like the nice blonde boy from down from across the street.
Yeah. I'll see you in a week, boyfriend. And of course, Isabel's jealous. It's like, don't worry, Candace, a week will be over before you know it. At least you got a love scene on a bridge.
Yeah.
But we've actually skipped ahead a bit. We actually skipped down what Buford and Baljeet did.
Yeah. So in assembling everything, they needed basically they need like the oil, right?
Yep. And so like Baljeet's like, Buford, you're right. Your nature may be fine stateside, but here we are in Paris, a place of fine refinement. So I'll do the talking.
So of course, Baljeet doesn't get anywhere, but then Buford apparently speaks fluent French.
Like, don't do anything too crazy, Buford. Like, excuse me, monsieur. Can we please borrow some oil for that you're going to throw away? But of course.
Yeah, so he charms the heck out of the waiter.
The host.
I'm sorry, of the host. He charms the heck out of the host.
Speaking fluent French with an accent and all.
No one must ever know.
Not one word about this to the others. And of course,
also, when they're on the boat, Buford, he's quoting Voltaire.
Love is a canvas furnished by nature and embroidered by the imagination.
That is a really good Voltaire quote.
Yes, it is. It's like, Voltaire, Buford, really?
It's Paris. It brings it out in me.
Can't help it. Paris does it to me every time. There's actually a future episode in season 3 that explains where that came from. Explains why he's familiar with French. It's kind of funny, actually.
Okay.
So it's so what do you? So yeah, speaking of development, what do you think of Buford knowing French?
I love
it. Yep. It's he's more cultured than Baljeet realized. And Baljeet was the one that was out of place here. Kind of interesting change of pace, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And of course, Phineas acquired the giant plastic baguettes for the boat to float.
Now, see, Baljeet would have been fine if he said, omelette du fromage.
Which just means omelet with cheese.
Well, that waiter that host would have given him everything.
Yeah, yep, we know. He would have.
He would have. Okay, anyway, so they have a solution here. They have this souped up boat. Seems to work.
So the dragon. Speaking of which, did you notice you know the Moulin Rouge, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what it is, don't you?
I know it's like a play and a movie, or just a movie.
It's a real life location in Paris.
Oh, okay.
It's a cabaret club, essentially.
Oh, okay. So that's where they got that. Okay, so that's literally what the club was called. Okay.
Moulin Rouge. Yes, it translates to red windmill.
Ah, that explains the windmill. Okay.
So obviously the name sounds better in French.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phineas was staring. If you noticed, Phineas in the painting was staring at the Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
I don't think it's used for that anymore, but it was at one time a very risque cabaret club. But moving on, we have another Chekhov's gun.
The water balloon.
Yep. The water balloon, which is flown all the way in the second act in Japan, now crash lands and allows them to get over the shipping boat. You gotta admit, pretty clever way of incorporating that back into the plot.
Indeed. Speaking of which, Doofenshmirtz about to be arrested.
Yep. It's like after making plans with Vanessa to go visit the guillotine museum. Which, Dragon, would you be interested in going to a guillotine museum?
I mean, not particularly.
I mean, you got to have the right head for it.
Got to be in the right headspace for it.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
So Monogram and Perry arrest Doofenshmirtz. It's like, you have a list of outstanding warrants as long as your arm. And I do have long arms.
Don't beat the rap. I have a Recap-inator.
I wonder if it works in France. Yeah, the outlets here are very different. And of course, what does Vanessa do?
She seemingly pulls a gun and frees her father, takes him with her, and they steal Perry's ride and they get out of there. And then we reveal, because it was a safe bet because Vanessa's not a bad person. She basically faked him out with a hairdryer and explains this to her father. And Doofenshmirtz is so freaking proud of Vanessa.
It's a hairdresser. His hairdryer they got in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh, so you are so you are a little evil. I'm like, it's so evil. Like, Dad, I'm not evil. It's just a hairdryer. And they didn't know that when you pulled it on them, so there's a little evil.
I just love that. That's a perfect Doofenshmirtz Vanessa moment. He's just so proud of her, and the fact that there's a little bit is harmless evil, but that's honestly at the end of the day, that's Doofenshmirtz's brand of evil, harmless evil.
Exactly. It's like, Like you can just tell how proud he is over. It's like I knew it. It's like, and she's like, Dad. It's a bonding moment for them.
Yeah.
It's evil bonding, but bonding nonetheless. So yeah. So some development from them too. Like this entire episode is like good at changing like some of the status quos of some of these characters. Speaking of which, we're about to enter a whole big one. So Dragon, what happens next? So like,
well,
they start skipping over the water to making good times, and barring any unforeseen mishaps.
Again, Phineas could have kept his stupid mouth shut.
Well, actually, in this time, it is Ferb who pulls on the steering wheel a bit too hard.
But still, I mean, that was a flimsy steering wheel. If that just broke off that easily.
That's what I'm talking about. and this is all included what I was talking about earlier.
So they end up crashing again into an island.
Yep, a deserted island, a very small deserted island, and all it has on it is their seats, a rubber band,
2 trees,
and a big smelly ox.
Not Buford.
It's like not you, big fat smelly ox. Him, big fat ox. And then the ox is just like. Candace offended the ox.
So Buford's winning.
He's like, you do realize you're stranded here too, right?
Yeah, but I'm still winning.
Yep.
So Phineas and Ferb here, particularly Phineas. Phineas is confronted with the reality of, well, there's nothing you can build with on this island. So he's starting to freak out.
It's like Phineas is like, well, we could do that. It's like, no, we don't have a motor. It's like and the ox are like, no, we don't have any soup.
Yep. No, so then we have like he's frantically digging a hole and everything. A sponge and a starfish. I can't make anything with this, which is a really great SpongeBob reference.
It's like look, a sponge and a starfish. There's got to be something we can make out of this. No, that's ridiculous.
That's great. Anyways,
and of course, people like it's a jab at SpongeBob, but of course, it's a playful one because Dan used to work for them.
Anyway, so Isabel's kind of on the precipice of getting what she wants here, where he's going to have no choice but to take in the romantic sunset with her. But she realizes that if he does that, he kind of it kills everything that Phineas is if he just gives up and takes in that sunset with her. And
can we just like give props to like the voice acting in this scene, both from Alison Stoner and Vincent Martella in this?
Yeah,
it's like Phineas is like, there's got to be something we can do. Like we can't. Just like hearing Phineas of all people say those words is just gut wrenching.
It is.
It's like, Phineas, I mean, this happy-go-lucky, never give up attitude. Suddenly he's like, they can't believe there's nothing we can do. He's feeling hopelessness basically for the first time.
Yep.
This episode really puts Phineas through the ringer, doesn't it?
Indeed it does.
Really challenges everything what he stands for. And he just gives up. I mean, be honest, going into this, did you ever think Phineas would ever give up?
Not really.
So what was your thoughts of seeing him just like sit down and just give up?
Well, I mean, again, he was kind of between a rock and a hard place here, where he's like, yeah, there's nothing to build with here, and I was wondering I wonder how they're going to get out of this one. He really can't build anything here. He's kind of coming to grips with that reality, and yeah.
So yeah, it's actually kind of depressing for this show, and kind of scarily realistic in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody feels that kind of hopelessness at some point in their life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Isabella, she gives what she wants. And Ferb, which is out of kindness, like hands her a handkerchief. It's like, you're in Paris and you didn't even notice me. It's like, and Ferb is nice and comforts her for a bit. And
I know he's a monster.
What makes him a monster?
No, it's just the fact that I know, I took someone to the Eiffel Tower. He's with you the whole day in Paris, and just nothing. I know I've seen that glint in his eye. I've seen him just like look past people. He's just not like Isabel. I gotta be honest. I've sometimes had to remind him who you are.
Oh god. It's like, so she's like, I would give anything just to have him sit with me with this sunset. And then she gets what she wants. She has him. Phineas sits next to her on the sunset.
Yep.
But she realizes like that's not Phineas sitting next to her, is it? That's not truly him.
No. As far as Phineas is concerned, he's sitting next to a giant seashell. Because he doesn't care.
But Dragon, what happens next?
Well, Isabel, basically she kind of like gives him a pep talk, and he kind of hears basically gets the idea of the map, which is like light bulb. There's they're way off the island. Gives Isabel a big hug,
and of course she's like, you can just tell like, so she's like, yep, worth it.
She's on cloud 9.
Yep. So Dragon, what did you think of like the reintroduction of the map?
I thought this was like, oh my god, yeah, they could. Yeah, they do have this giant map. I mean, if it obeys the laws of cartoon physics and it unfolds the way it should, paper airplane's the only way off.
Yep, and I just mentioned like, it mentions Ohio, which I'm happy about too.
I'm sure you are. It's all about Ohio.
Hey, Ohio doesn't get much mention in media, so whenever I'm gonna take what I can get, Dragon.
I mean, you got Ready Player One.
I know, but there's not
you
much.
Jacob, you have Zombieland, okay? What more do you have? You're the main character in Zombieland. What more do you want?
I mean, I'm just saying it's not mentioned much. That's my point. But you are right. I forgot about Zombieland. As blasphemous as that is.
Yeah. It said a lot. They say Columbus a lot in that movie.
I know. Unless they're talking about Columbus, South Carolina.
That's not funny, Jacob.
Okay. I'm just saying there are multiple Columbuses out there.
Hey. There's only one Columbus that counts, mister.
Yep, and it's mine.
Yes.
Thanks for the encouragement.
It's the only Columbus that matters.
Thank you. Sorry for the people watching in there and another Columbus.
They don't matter. So,
unless you're in the Columbus, Ohio, in which case, good for you.
There you go. See, that's what matters.
Yep. It's like, so of course Phineas gets this idea. It's like, and Dragon, remember way back in Swiss Family Phineas when I mentioned like, why don't you just build a giant slingshot? Oh, that's great. Do you mind if we use that someday? You remember how I brought that up?
Yes, you did.
And didn't I tell you it would come back in a huge way?
Yeah, you're right. It did.
And it did.
You think it was intentional? The card they had on the board, they remembered, like, hey, we could actually use this.
I want to believe it was intentional, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure. They've never explicitly confirmed it.
Oh, for the most part, they do have to kind of break a whole season, at least certain parts of it. So
So I think it was somewhat intentional. It's like so. Yep, Phineas does that, and it's like, oh my god, they're making a giant paper airplane, and turning it and doing a slingshot with it with the ox. It's like, Buford, why are you helping? How many times do you get to lift an ox? So yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome moment. And of course, they finally launch. They're getting close to the tri-state area. And again, the scene was cut out where they fly over the substitute teacher convention. And someone's like, "Okay, who's the wise guy?" So what happens next?
All right, let's see. So again, they're doing the whole basically the photo finish of Around the World in 80 Days here as they're gliding in the giant paper airplane map,
which is nice.
Anyway, so they land in Danville, like 5 blocks away from the house.
Yep, but another Chekhov's gun.
Road construction, which is earlier why Linda, was unable to, get to the house in time to see the robot.
Think about it. This episode has so many Chekhov's guns in it.
It's Chekhov's armory.
Pretty much, yeah. And of course, Buford finally like, no, I finally thought it was gonna be possible. Buford came around.
So Buford has an arc.
Yep, it's like I'm gonna give everyone back their bikes.
Gives everyone back their bikes. It's the right thing to do, and they're all getting, including the recumbent bike, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure is Papa. Do you know if Papa worked on the SpongeBob movie?
I don't think so.
Because I know they worked it in the SpongeBob movie, and I think we've seen it maybe once or twice in the show. But Squidward did have a recumbent bicycle.
I remember the movie, he rode to the Krusty Krab after taken over by Plankton.
Yeah.
Or like the chum bucket. I mean.
Yeah.
And then he gets attacked by Plankton and turned into a buckethead.
I don't know if Pop did the Squidville episode or not, but I think the recumbent bike was in that episode too, I think.
He just rode a regular bike in that one.
Oh, okay, never mind. Anyway.
Because remember, part of the scene is just like him riding along and his face gets like more and more.
Oh, you're right.
So yeah, I don't think he did work on that episode.
Okay, well, the point being, they're all given bikes, except Candace would be stuck with a tricycle, and this is where the real Phineas comes out here.
It's like, come on, Candace, get on. It's like, there's no way I'm gonna get on the trike.
I love they only have like a minute left, and Phineas doesn't have time for Candace's usual shtick here. He's so fed up. Just get on the trike, you whiner! Get on the trike.
It's like out of nowhere, like there's no way I'm gonna get on the trike. And then she just gets on the trike. And the funny thing is, this is another thing I have a background for, Dragon.
Yeah.
Well, it's more like something that happened. Like, this is Dan Puppenheimer's favorite gag in the entire series.
That makes sense.
It's like, and he actually uploaded a video to his YouTube channel explaining why. And I'm actually going to quote that video right now.
Okay.
It's like this is in Dan's words. Now, the reason I'm proud of this gag is that it's not an inherently funny line, and that it gets a huge laugh. That laugh is all about character. That laugh happens because we spend an entire season letting you get to know him and who he is. And we spent the last 30 minutes letting you see what he's gotten to emotionally. That's not a cheap laugh. That's an expensive laugh.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting that.
Yep. I mean, think about it. He is right, though. It's not. It's the words "get on the trike" are not inherently funny.
No.
But it's just after all this, so close, Phineas and Candace. Phineas going through all this, and Candace is going to be ruined by Candace not getting on a bike. So he just snaps. Like this bit, it's like back when the show was big. People were shocked by this. I mean, Phineas gets angry.
Like, he gets so angry.
Like, he's been mildly annoyed before, but this was the first time he was like legitimately angry. It was huge. So yeah. I don't really blame him either for like he said like that's the one he's most proud of. Like that's the thing he's like most proud of, like the gag he's most proud of in the show. And it's very easy to see why. Okay, so the countdown the girls count down till the sunset. Linda and Lawrence are about to arrive as well. And then and what happens?
Well, we have the ET moment.
Yep. It's like you gotta believe.
Which they all believe by the skin of their teeth, and they cross over the giant giant road construction moat.
Yep.
And they make it just in the nick of time to the backyard welcome back party, and Linda Lawrence re-enter the episode, and they think, oh, they threw us a little welcome back party, which is priceless.
Yep, and of course they get it back just on the count of one as they're counting down.
Yeah.
Yep. They made it home in time, which is nice. So it's like you guys enjoy the party, okay? Which, of course, kicks off to the closing number. So, Dragon, what are your thoughts on this one?
Here's the thing. Again, this feels like a nice like season ender. I don't know. It just feels like I know we have something else coming up, more of an epilogue, but this very much feels very season finale-ish, which I was impressed by.
Yeah, this is a huge episode in many ways. It's an epic event. A test that pretty much sheds new light on pretty much all of the characters, and has some great songs along with it as well.
Yeah.
It's the show firing on pretty much all of its cylinders and proving what it can do. And the song at the time was actually the longest song in the history of the series. It's the first song that goes to 3 minutes within the episode itself. But you gotta admit, it's a good song too. And Jeremy comes back from Paris. And what happens then, Dragon?
He kills her. No.
You really want him to kill her?
No, it's just the K word thing.
Yeah, he K words her.
He K words her all over.
Yes. Yep. In other words, they kiss.
Yes, they make kissy face.
Yep. And now it is officially official.
Yes, they kissed, and he's and their boyfriend girlfriend.
Yes. Finally, right, Dragon?
Yes, and then Cancer mentions there was that one time in England, but Jeremy, I understand he looked just like you though.
Poor guy.
Yep. He's like, Candace, I put up with a lot. I don't know how to process this. I gotta go.
Like, no, we just got together.
Then you imagine me as like a tree in my underwear. I gotta go, man.
Like, and I'm in my underwear.
Yep.
Yes. And of course, I still remember the line that Phineas says, like, the problem with you is you're just delusional. Like, I am? Sure. So, and Vincent has gone on record and saying this Summer Belongs to You song is his favorite song in the series, which is, again, nice. And after everything ends, hey, where's Perry? Perry's still in France. What do you think of that, Drek? Perry's in France with a date. He has a date in France.
Yeah. Well, remember what he's being asked.
Yeah.
Fromage or without fromage?
Would you like your grr with or without fromage?
Again, if Perry could only summon the words.
Omelette
du fromage.
Continuing my French lessons from earlier, the proper word for that would be omelette au fromage.
Hey.
Yeah?
You leave omelette du fromage alone.
All right, Dragon, it's a great gag. It's like one of the best gags in all of Dexter's
That's
lab.
what I'm saying. Don't pull on that thread, buddy.
I just think it's one of the greatest labs in Dexter's lab.
Exactly.
So I was like, yeah, think about it. Dexter was able to just get world peace by saying omelette du fromage.
Exactly.
And of course, you know what fromage means.
Yes.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Aquatad's like, this is my second favorite Perry ending in the series. If you don't mind me asking, Aquatad, what is your number one favorite Perry ending in the series? Because he has a lot of interesting ones. But before we get that from, that concludes our episode, and this has been our longest podcast on the series so far.
Well, yeah, it's a long episode.
Yes, it is. It comes in season 4, according to Aquatad. All right, so I guess we'll come to that, later. So, Dragon, any closing thoughts on this one?
I mean, again, I just feel this actually would have been a really solid finale for the season.
It would
have.
De
facto, it kind of is, but
the next episode is people all know it. It's Roller Coaster the musical, which is kind of like an epilogue if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But heck, this would have been a good series finale if nothing else happened afterwards as well. So, But as what it is, it stands for like a great testament to what the show is capable of. It shed some light on the new characters and allowed them to grow from this point forward. It's definitely one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. All right, so I think that about does it. What do you think, Dragon?
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up.
All right. Thank you so much, Aquatad, Code Geass, and I think we briefly had Little Blue here. So thank you all for joining us on this hour-long journey or this hour-long episode, and thank you for tuning in, especially considering we didn't do this on our usual day. So, but we'll be sure to return to our regularly scheduled programming soon. All right, Dragon?
Yep.
All right, so thank you, folks. And as I mentioned, thank you, Aquatad. 2 hours well spent. Yep. Thank you, Aquatad. That means a lot. And so, good night, everyone.
Omelette du fromage.
Fromage.